Got a John Deere 13.5 PSX IT4 series engine. The model number is the RW401, which just means it comes out of an ag tractor. So this is very specific because it's a specific stock number. This is the stock number that it would be. If that's been sold, then this video is null and void for the rest of our engines. So IT4 is very specific and easy to identify. It's got the valve cover, valve springs. It's got a flat valve cover on it. So what I want to show is what's different about how this engine has been built versus what you get from the OEM. So what you get from the OEM, whether you want to call it a long block, it's not. It's called a complete block assembly, but we'll use the word long block. But what you don't get and what is different from ours is you don't get an oil pan. You don't get a front cover with all of the drivetrain. You don't get a valve cover. You may or may not get an overhead. Sometimes they have them on, sometimes they don't. They do not have injectors. They do not have an injector wiring harness. It does not have a heat exchanger. It doesn't have a water manifold. Does not have a water pump. Does not have an oil cooler. I don't know if it's got a rear cover on it or not. Anyway, the point being is that ours is a little bit higher price because you're going to pay someone to put these pieces on. We do charge you for the cooler. We charge you for the water pump because if you don't buy new from Deere and you have a warranty issue, now you have a problem. So we charge you the labor to install the other parts, because you would be paying someone to install those anyway. Even if it's yourself, there's still a cost. So you get a charge for injectors, which Deere's gonna make you buy anyway. You got a wiring harness, which if yours is good, you wouldn't have to buy, but we put a new one in ours. So you're gonna get charged for injectors, a new wiring harness, and water pump, and oil cooler. So CBA plus those parts, then plus the labor to install all the other pieces. And install the water pump, cooler, injectors, overhead. The goofy thing about the OEM, when they actually come with an overhead on them, you have to uninstall the overhead to install the injectors and then reinstall it. So just trying to help explain how this one is priced so that everyone can make a fair comparison versus what you'd be getting from your OEM.